Oh, I am here for it. Grumpy, snippy, condescending Aaron Rodgers is back. It is my favorite kind of Aaron Rodgers. He is not in a good mood. They were blown out. Strangely, again, last 5 losses all been blowouts. That's kind of odd. Anywho, Aaron was snippy with the very nice Midwestern media. These are flannel shirt-wearing people, flyover country, and Aaron got very coastal. He got very snippy. It's my favorite kind of Aaron. Oh, he's getting snippy. This is interesting. So the NFL's got a bunch of young quarterbacks, and they're a little more inconsistent. Then it's got a bunch of old guys, and they got some limitations. But there's 2 great quarterbacks right in the middle. They're not young, they're not old, and they're icons, and they're first-ballot Hall of Famers. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. They're about as good as you're going to see. I've never seen a runaround quarterback as good as Russell, and I'm not sure I've seen anybody but Dan Marino throw a ball as well as Aaron Rodgers. Of course, you think I love Russell, and I don't like Aaron. That's what you believe. No, I love what Russell Wilson represents, and sometimes Aaron Rodgers drives me nuts by what he represents, and I'll give you an example. I presented a stat this week, and even Packer fans, even people that defend Aaron Rodgers, Trent Dilfer, Doug Gottlieb, and we're all friends, but they're like, oh, I can't argue your stat. Why does Green Bay get blown out so much with Aaron, and why do they never come from behind? It's bizarre. So let's just talk Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson has a mental strategist. I interviewed him this week on my podcast, Trevor Moawad. And he's trying, and it's working last several years, to make Russell Wilson neutral. That's what he has tried to make Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson wants to be neutral, meaning no peaks, no valleys, no huge celebrations, no down in the dumps. And I believe Aaron's the opposite. And Green Bay's the opposite. And I believe teams become their quarterback. So with Green Bay, you get these massive blowout wins and a lot of ugly losses. With Aaron Rodgers, you get glib, funny Aaron on the Pat McAfee show, very funny. And you get snippy Aaron. On the field, you get discount double check Aaron. And then you get, bad body language Aaron. None of these, of course, are deniable. And what does it translate to? Aaron's been blown out 19 times in his career, 10% of his games. Double Russell Wilson, Mr. Neutral. Since the start of last year, Russell's come from behind in the fourth quarter 6 times. 3 times as often as Aaron Rodgers. Because when things are great for Aaron, he is on top of the world, he is condescending, he is glib, he is discount double check. And when they are bad, he is moody and bad body language and snippy, and I don't want to talk about it. Teams become their quarterback. This explains it. Now, Aaron is now in a bad mood, and Green Bay is going to take it out on Houston. Because if you go look at Aaron gets really high during the winning streaks. And then last year they go to the Chargers and just get walloped. And Aaron said publicly, we got a little too into ourselves. And then Aaron this year, Green Bay got off to a great start. And then they get beat by Tampa. And Aaron comes out and goes, we got a little too into ourselves. Or maybe, Aaron, you got a little too into you. But you never hear Russell Wilson say that because he's seeking neutral. No peaks, no valleys. This is why Seattle is such a great come-from-behind team. That is why Russell Wilson almost never gets blown out, despite having the last 3 years a horrible offensive line, and this year having the worst defense in the league. Teams become their quarterbacks. Aaron's either snippy, celebrating, sulking, fist-pumping, blowouts, awful losses, up and down, because that's Aaron's personality. And Russell is neutral. You don't see the highs. You don't see the lows. Remember when he threw that Super Bowl interception? I mean, that's the reality. You become your quarterback. And so Aaron now, snippy Aaron, and I am here for it. And I do believe Green Bay is going to roll this week. But if you're trying to figure out why does Aaron have so few fourth quarter comebacks historically, it makes no sense. Why does this team lose? They get blown out. That's your answer. Moody people, moody teams. Dad's moody, family's moody. Mom's moody, family's moody. because you have to walk on eggshells for the moody leader of the family or the moody leader of your team. Well, I saw this morning, speaking of the Seahawks, Antonio Brown, who is a marvelous talent at wide receiver, but is difficult. Seattle is one of the teams looking for him. Now, let me start with this. I've always been able to separate art from artist. You can create great music and be an awful human. I can still enjoy your music and think I don't want any part of you to do personally, but you do create great art. I've always been able to separate the two. I'm not looking for perfect artists. I think what creates art is often what creates dysfunction. So I can separate Antonio Brown, not a guy I respect, and Antonio Brown, damn good wide receiver. Secondly, talent is a commodity. We know this. Sports is about winning now, and he can help some teams. But I do believe this is something I live by. Be nimble, be adaptable. I talk about this so often, it irritates you. Life changes really fast. It is your problem if you can't adapt. I'll give you commercial real estate. One of the great investments last 20 years. Buy big buildings, rent them out, get rich. A lot of people in America are rich, own commercial real estate. Oh, it was good in January. And then COVID hit. And there's Zoom meetings. And there's just nothing but empty commercial buildings for the next decade. It's not a good investment. Be warned. Life changes fast. Uber killed parking garages. My entire life, parking garages are what rich guys owned. Uber, you don't take your own car. Life changes fast. Something is happening in football, and like usually is the case, young people in America create the cultural changes. The fashion changes, the music changes, the athletic changes. So what is happening in the NFL is talent at wide receiver is exploding. Just this year, 2 of the top 7 receivers in the NFL yards are rookie wide receivers. Why is that happening? There's 3 reasons. An explosion over the last 10 to 15 years of 7-on-7 drills. Well, what does that mean? Well, 7-on-7 drills have not only helped the quarterbacks. Who are the quarterbacks throwing to? Wide receivers. Wide receivers are exploding in this country. Number 2 is young people are the ones that start cultural changes. Young people 10 years ago, the money's for the quarterbacks and the money's for the wide receivers. Who wants to get hit? That's why it's hard to find great boxers and great running backs. Who wants to get hit? Young people figured it out and said, dude, I can catch. I'm going to go be a wide receiver, make more money, and last longer. And the third thing that's happening is college football now is throwing the ball more. What does that mean? It used to be that a college receiver could come out of college with 80 catches. They come out of college now with 250 catches. Everybody's throwing the ball 40. Alabama is now defined by wide receivers. So what does it mean? The NFL, this year alone, there's 7 wide receivers making a major impact. Why would you roll the dice if you're Seattle on Antonio Brown? You're good at receiver. You have great chemistry. I'm not doubting talent. I'm not saying he's not a commodity, and I can separate art from artist, but I don't get this one. There's probably places he'd work, but I'm looking right now at the last 3 NFL drafts. I'm looking at a piece of paper. 27 wide receivers I would put as very good and impactful. 27. And I'm not counting the other 34 who are developing, have their moments, but are not 1s or maybe high 2s yet. This I don't get. The world is changing. I'm not saying a troubled wide receiver doesn't have a spot in the NFL, but boy, you better be very careful, because I've watched Antonio Brown at 3 different places, and the last 3, New England, the Raiders, and the Steelers, it was a mess. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.